Today on the Perception and Action podcast, are there benefits to doing interleaved practice with a partner? Is it better if you both do the same or different things? So it's time for a call to action. Hi everyone, this is Rob Gray from Arizona State University and PerceptionAction.com. Welcome to the Perception and Action podcast, where I discuss how psychological research can be applied to improving performance, accelerating skill acquisition, and designing technologies. On this episode, I want to look at the potential benefits of doing interleaved practice with a teammate or partner. Something that's often overlooked in skill acquisition research is that athletes often practice motor skills in social settings with similarly skilled peers. In such situations, athletes are not only engaging in physical practice, but they're creating opportunities for observational learning, something that is well known to have positive benefits on performance. Previous research has shown that indeed taking turns with a partner that is performing the same skill as you can result in better retention and transfer of motor skills as compared to individual physical practice. It has been proposed that this occurs because it promotes improved error detection and strategy evaluation. But what happens when you and your partner are working on different skills? In a 2002 study, Simon and Bjork had participants learn a key pressing task in which a computer display was their quote-unquote partner. For one group, the action shown on the computer screen was the same as they had to perform on the next trial, while for another group it was different. What was found? Acquisition of the key pressing skill was significantly faster for the match group, but retention and transfer were better for the mismatched group. If this pattern sounds familiar, it is exactly what we typically see when we compare blocked versus random practice. Therefore, it's been proposed that observing a partner performing a different task is a type of contextual interference, which improves skill development in the long run. Another interesting twist to this is how performers assess these different conditions, which can be measured using questionnaires. Interestingly, in the key press study I just described, participants in the mismatch group showed superior learning despite having lower ratings of competence as compared to the match group. A final interesting finding concerns how participants respond to errors made by the partner they are observing. There is some evidence that they treat them as if they were their own, showing post-error slowing in responding and correction of the error on the next trial, even when they didn't make the error themselves. In an interesting recent study published in Human Movement Science, Karlinski and Hodges investigated the effects of alternating practice with a partner using a sports skill. Specifically, novice golfers were asked to practice a putting task. To create mismatch and match conditions, there were two different putting tasks: standard putting with a typical 91 centimeter putter and seated putting using a miniature 40 centimeter putter. Importantly, they also included a control group in which one of the partners just observed their partner practicing rather than alternating with them. 76 females with limited golf experience were split into three groups: matched, partner used the same putter during acquisition; mismatch, partner used a different putter; and control, partner just observed the other partner and didn't practice. This resulted in 12 pairs of participants per group. The task was to putt a standard ball so that it stopped at the center of a circular target. As I mentioned, this was either done standing sideways to the target using a standard putter, in other words normal putting, or seated facing the target using a miniature putter. The experiment was conducted over 3 days, and pre- and post-tests using both the standard and miniature putters were done. Acquisition consisted of a total of 72 trials, 36 trials of physical practice when the performer was putting, and 36 alternative trials where their partner was putting. Retention tests were conducted 1 week after the acquisition phase was complete. The main dependent variable of interest was, of course, putting error, the radial distance of the ball from the center of the target. The authors were also interested in compensatory or corrective errors from putt to putt. So, for example, if your partner putted the ball way too long, would it lead you to putt it shorter on the next trial? Is the magnitude of this compensation similar to what would occur if you putted the ball too long on your last putt? Finally, several questionnaires were also employed to assess motivation, competence, etc. What was found? Although there was evidence of learning, in that all groups improved their putting performance from pre to post, there was no significant group differences. In other words, unlike the key pressing study I talked about earlier, there was no evidence that mismatched practice acts like random practice, as all groups showed similar acquisition and learning effects. The main significant effect found in the study came when compensatory behaviors were examined. It was found that these occurred on a very large proportion of trials, roughly 75%. Remember, this is when your putt on your current trial quote-unquote corrects for the error, too long or too short, on your previous trial. Interestingly, the frequency of corrections was not significantly different for self-reference corrections, that is, increasing or decreasing the shot if the target was under or overshot on the person's previous trial, and partner reference corrections, increasing or decreasing the shot if the target was under or overshot on your partner's preceding trial. Finally, unlike previous research, there were no group differences in perceived competence or motivation. To summarize, in this study it was found that taking turns practicing and observing a partner did not benefit learning compared to the control. Pure physical practice group and the matched and mismatched groups did not differ in outcomes. There was, however, evidence that partners were adapting their actions, i.e. compensating for over or undershooting the target, based on the shots of their partner, in a similar manner to how they were adapting to their own errors. Thus, although partners were influencing each other's performance, it was not ultimately a benefit or cost to overall learning. Therefore, I think we need more research into the interesting question of whether alternating practice with a partner is effective for motor learning. Okay, that's it for this month's bonus episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a million for supporting the podcast. I really appreciate it. This is Rob Gray from ASU. Cheers for now, and keep 'em coupled. As it flies, 'cause that's the way.